down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand.
Welcome back to the Roll Ricketts Show. We just went over the state finals from the weekend. High school's over. Pretty much the Philly schools dominated. Or the so-called private charter schools dominated Hershey this weekend. Pretty much Constitution and Newman Goretti probably the two best teams in regardless of classification to play this weekend in Hershey. Girls, I'd have to say probably Cumberland Valley is probably the best one, especially on the defensive end. Very solid team. So now let's get on to the brackets. 16 of my 17 are still alive. Probably one of the big upsets was Wichita State beating Kansas. That was a big one. Georgia State obviously beating Baylor in the first round was huge. But probably NC State beating Villanova to get to the Sweet 16. That's probably the biggest upset in the tournament as of right now. As for possible upsets here in the Sweet 16, Carolina Wisconsin could happen. Carolina matches them size wise, but big question mark now is the status of Kennedy Meeks, who sprained his knee on a Sunday night, or Saturday or Sunday, whenever they played. It was the 20th. It was the 19th. It was Saturday. Sorry, when they beat Arkansas, he got hurt. But if he plays, they got a shot. Wichita State, Notre Dame is another possibility. That's about it. I just don't see. I see Gonzaga beating UCLA. NC State, Louisville. That's two ACC teams going at it. Michigan State should win, but everybody's talking about Kentucky, West Virginia. Some people like West Virginia to possibly win that game because of how they they press almost all the time, and they are the team that creates the most turnovers, and they also score the most points off of turnovers. But again, they're like a typical team. They're like kind of like my North Carolina team. You don't know what you're going to get from them night in and night out. It's been that way since Huggins took over at West Virginia. Although offensively, last week they put points up on the board. But I think the team that's looked most impressive, you got to probably say Kentucky's looked good. Michigan State defensively has been solid. Zags have looked pretty good. Arizona's looked pretty good. So we'll see. I'll give you my picks here for the Sweet 16. Since a lot of my Sweet 16 isn't done, I'll take Kentucky over West Virginia. I don't think they'll lose. I think they'll get to the Final Four, but I think they're gonna lose in the national semifinal. Notre Dame and Wichita State. That's a tough one. I think I would go Wichita. If I could do that over, I would probably go Wichita State. I really like how they play. Their coach. I like their coach. Wisconsin, Carolina. I'm gonna take Wisconsin because of Frank Kaminsky. They got, you know what you're gonna get. Carolina, you haven't known what you're gonna get night in and night out, but they have done well since the conference tournament started, so they've played pretty decently. I'm going Arizona over Xavier. Uh, I'm gonna go Louisville over NC State because of the experience. I'm going Michigan State over Oklahoma. Duke Utah is intriguing. Utah is pretty good defensive team, but I think Duke's got Okafor is just a man right now, so I give them the edge, and I'll go Gonzaga over UCLA. So my Elite Eight will be Kentucky, Wichita State, Wisconsin, Arizona, Louisville, Michigan State, Duke, and Gonzaga. So that's not how I have it. I have pretty much 6 out of 8 alive in my Elite Eight, so that's not too bad. The women, we'll do a brief breakdown there. There really hasn't been really any shocking. Well, there was one big upset, Dayton over Kentucky. That was a big upset. Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. That's a little bit of an upset there. So everything's been on pace, but yesterday there was some intrigue to the UConn Rutgers game, women's game. Gina Oriema and C. Vivian Stringer. There was a stipulation in C. Vivian Stringer's contract that indicated if Rutgers would beat UConn in the tournament, she'd get a $500,000 payday. And that obviously did not happen. They lost 91-55 to UConn, so she did not get her $500,000 payday. So that's pretty much played out. I pretty much have I have seven of the 8 in the Elite 8 still alive, and I have my Final 4 still alive too. I only did 2. So that's pretty much it. I think although Maryland's look pretty impressive, I'm impressed with them. They could give UConn. I have them playing UConn in the national semifinal. They look pretty solid. But Florida State and South Carolina, that could be a tough one in the Elite 8. And Notre Dame Stanford in the Sweet 16 looks tough. That'd be a tough ball. Stanford's starting to play good ball as well. So, but I think right now UConn's probably the favorite to win it. That will do it. Hopefully, next week I'll have my MLB preview. I haven't done it obviously because of basketball going on, so I got to get back working on that. So hopefully, not this weekend, the following weekend, I'll have that out in my pit for the World Series. Can't think of anything else that's going on. They are. I did hear today NFL rule changes. They are possibly keeping it the extra point at the 15-yard line, keeping it how they were doing that in the Pro Bowl. That looks like that's done. Also, possibly having somebody in the press box regarding concussions. If they see anybody they look woozy. They can signal down to the field, call timeout, and get them out, get the player off the field. That looks like that's in. Also heard today about Phil Rivers. If San Diego moves to LA, he may not resign with the Chargers because he's got like 7 kids from what I heard. So that's all I have. I'll try and do a video here this weekend sometime. With after all the results of the basketball, men's and women's basketball tournament. So. So, just wanted to get some videos in quickly over the basketball tournament. So, thanks for watching. And we'll see you sometime this weekend. This is Little Record Show, Little Record Network. And we'll see you later.